Well, hello again, Geminis. As you can see on my playlists, I tried to stream live Gemini's video, and it was actually a great reading. But when I went back to watch it, it was all crazy. You couldn't hear anything. So I'm going to leave it up there because you can hear parts of it. Maybe some of those parts will speak to you, but I couldn't listen to it. It was maddening, only being able to hear every few words. So we're just going to do it again, and it's easier for me to do it this way anyways. I am using just white sage. Get your cards ready. That reading, like the gist of it, was about Gemini's like becoming whole, finding the yin and the yang of the Gemini-ness and getting both of those sides to be equal and balanced and so on and so forth. But I am calling in guides, calling in angels, calling in anyone from the highest good that would like to come forward and spread a message for those Geminis who will be watching between now and the end of January 2018. Thanks. For Geminis, please. This is the Good Tarot. Colette Baron Reed. Okay. So normally, first off, there's no jumper cards. Normally I wouldn't read these in reverse, but I'm kind of feeling like I should. Because in the base of your recent past, you have the Page of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. So it's like something that you wanted or something that you had manifested, and right here you do have the manifestation card. Like it happened, like you were feeling good with this Ten of Cups here. And the Eight of Wands, I mean, it does talk about fast communication, but it can also talk about like Cupid's arrows. And with the Page of Fire too. I mean, this is like new. It just feels really super exciting. So exciting to where like this is your face. Right? But that's like in the base. So when I do my reads, I lay out 3 cards from the top of the past deck, and that's the spread, but the 3 to 5 cards that are on the bottom of the deck underneath, I flip it over, is kind of the base and what's the background. That's this. So in the back of your mind, there's this thing that's been manifested or being manifested that was like, you're feeling really good about it and it happened fast, and I just feel like I want to say like butterflies, and like I think she's a butterfly or something like it. It just feels warm and tingly. But then, see, because, and the reason I explain why I set these up is because in the base, like the actual reality of the past is the Hermit in reverse, which can talk about coming out of hermit mode, but it's more like, I just feel like I heard the word uncertainty. And then with the Sun in reverse, I mean, the Sun is the most positive card in the deck, but it's in reverse. It still means really super positive things, but like lesser. And I think the reason that I want to say that, you know, what I heard, uncertainty, and why the Sun is lesser is because you just aren't really sure, or this is in the recent past, so you weren't really sure. And it's kind of like, and here you are with the Eight of Cups, like, okay, you have this treasure chest full of awesome stuff, but what's on the boat? I mean, I'm coming out of hermit mode, I've got the Sun, but what's on the boat? And so you have these couple of cards, Ten of Cups, the Eight of Rods, the Ace of Fire, the Page of Fire, all this new, like, exciting stuff, mixed with, the Sun and coming out of hermit mode. But if you put this card right in the middle like it was, you're still kind of like, yeah, but what else? What else is there? Or like, when I heard uncertainty again, or unsure. Like, it feels like for whatever situation this is, if you do make the decision to like embrace it, then that's that. And so it's kind of like, well, if I take this, because right in the center of everything is the High Priestess in reverse. So that's another indicator of uncertainty. Like, you have the intuition, you can feel it, you know it, but I just feel like you want to see something really solid, because then you have the Magician in reverse too. So it's like you manifested it. I also heard it too good to be true. So it's like it's almost, and right there is your clarity in reverse, not having any clarity. This whole thing right now in your present moment is talking about not having the clarity, just really, really not being sure about whatever this is. And then I heard too good to be true. I mean, it feels like, because this was, whatever this was manifested. Like, you thought about it so much, and you thought about it the right way so much, and it made you feel the way that you wanted to feel. And I think that for some of the Geminis that are watching, they're not used to maybe getting whatever it was that they wanted. And now that they are, they're like, I just got a clairvoyant image of when somebody sits down on a chair, except that one leg, is it solid, and the whole, like, they fall and the chair's in it, and everybody's embarrassed, people point and laugh, and it's funny, but it's not funny. It feels like you're trying to avoid one of those. But I can assure you, this chair is solid, Okay. Well, this makes more sense, because I'm looking in the base of the present right now. So on the reality of what's happening, the spread here is talking about still having this uncertainty, and still not being sure, and like being afraid for the chair to fall, right? But in the base, you have what looks like here, you are holding on to the fact that before you have the Five of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. Somebody did Gemini wrong before, and Gemini is still holding on to that. And because you're still in this mode of holding on to whatever nastiness happened before, it leaves you like, I don't know. This seems a little, right? But that's, I mean, and I don't want to say don't feel like that, because as an air sign myself, it's like, don't tell me how to feel it. But it's more like, I just heard that it's the word, it's cliche, it's better to love than lost than never to have loved, or something like that. So I think that's just kind of like because you have strength here in reverse, and it's the need to have strength. I love this card. Right? So it's like, embrace the feeling of too good to be true, but don't embrace it on the side that makes you put up walls and put up boundaries to which people can't, to where you can't enjoy yourself in this really awesome thing, this, that's making you feel like that. You can't embrace it because you're afraid that it's what you experienced before is going to happen again. Now, it is important to learn lessons and pick up on red flags and things that you have experienced from previous lessons, but it's important to not punish yourself and your partner or job or whatever this is. It's important not to punish them for stuff other people did. And by punish, I mean take your own joy out of the situation. Because whoever this is, or whatever situation this is that is making you feel like that, they want you to be your best you. They want you to be happy, and the sweet, sweet lovers that Geminis are, they want you to experience. Have you ever hung out with, and this is just an example, like, of course, there's a spectrum of how everyone is going to behave, but for example, have you ever been really super psyched to be somewhere and you bring a friend along and they are not having a good time, and like you're still trying to have a good time, but they're not having a good time, and you're like, and then you can't like, then it's almost like the other person in the situation feels bad to have a good time because they're not having a good time, and then the whole vibe gets brought down, and it's just a really difficult situation. So take that and then, back it off to fit what resonates with you. But the point here is that while this may have happened to you in the past and you do have scars from it, you're getting this clarity now. Your intuition is on point. This was manifested. I mean, it was. You did it on purpose. And the universe gave it to you, and they're doing that to a lot of people right now. 2018 is supposed to be the year of the lovers. And a lot of people got upset with people. There's articles and everything about it, and people were commenting like, well, how come everybody's breaking up if 2018 is supposed to be the year of the lover? Well, if you're not with your right match, then you're going to obviously need to let go of them before you can embrace 2018 with this new lover energy. So that's why. But looking into your future, like not future, but towards the end of January, you do have the Chariot right in the center. That is like, what are these? These are horses. Beautiful horses. Oh my goodness. You've got them all reined up, and you're just in your chariot like, I don't even care. Bye, Felicia. But you still have, so you have the Five of Air in reverse. So it's kind of like, the way I want to interpret it for this reading is that you did your battling, and now you're putting down your swords, because, I mean, she's got wings. She's a ballerina on wings. So you put down your swords and you're jumping in your chariot, and then you have this new seed, this new tangible thing. It's just, I really feel like the transformation process to get to the good place where you're constantly being okay with not having what I want to call protective walls up. It's important to know how to get protective walls. It's just also equally as important to not hide behind them. Like, don't miss out on your own life because you're protecting yourself. Because there are ways to heal if you do get, hurt in some way. Which that sounded like terrible advice, but I hope that makes sense. Like, don't lose out on experiences because you're trying to block yourself from getting hurt. But there is, in the base, there's caution. With the King of Air, that's yourself. And the Eight of Earth and the Four of Air. So there's still just kind of a vibe of, even though you're moving on, these coming out of fighting and this almost new start, I just feel like this transformation process is going to take a minute. It's not like people just wake up one morning and all of a sudden all their problems are fixed. So this is walking cautiously through this transformation period, and this talks about taking time for respite, going within, and doing all of these things. So I feel like what this month is for Gemini is, I keep wanting to say transformation, but I didn't pull the Death card, and I didn't pull the transformation card either. Let's get some clarifiers. This is just Rider-Waite. So I first want to know about this new in the recent past. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you finally got to what you were like watching your ships come in. It was the manifestation, and you saw it right there. There's two images here of people watching ships come in. Except I feel like one is watching the ships come in, and one is wondering what's on that other ship. Which is what Geminis do, right? It's the shadow of the self always, the lovers, the yin and the yang. And here I am again kind of talking about what we read last night on my streaming disaster. You got the Ten of Pentacles too. So Ten of Cups and Ten of Pentacles, whatever this was in the recent past that is like coming at you that made you feel super happy like Buddha, this is not too good to be true. It's just super good. So I really, really would love for Gemini to come out from behind any kind of protective barriers they've set for themselves. And maybe, and I keep seeing this white light bubble, which I talk about a lot of, you know, or have written about building a protective bubble, which is instead of these walls where you don't let anybody in, it's more like a bubble where you can kind of maybe let some things in that you feel are safe, but generally speaking, you're protected during the day from energy vampires or just generally crappy folk. So right on top of the Magician and the High Priestess, this card just flew out. I didn't ask for any clarifiers, but it just came out anyways. Is the King of Wands. So for those of you who have in some way connected with a person who is a good person, you know, a passionate, fiery person, that, I mean, it flew out right on top of those two cards. So this is what's on that's the manifestation. That's what the intuition is about, is that person. Let's get additional clarifiers. Why is the King of Wands a clarifier for the Magician and High Priestess, please, for Gemini? Oh, yeah, well, it's the delay. It's being delayed with these. This is a lot of mental energy. It's a lot of air energy. And you pulled Strength again. Twice in the same row. They want you to, when I say they, I mean spirit, loved ones, whoever. They want you to have the strength because this is like soulmate-y type. Whatever this relationship is or thing that you're starting and doing has been manifested. Could potentially deal with children, or just it's really super nostalgic, but I feel like a lot of Geminis feel like they know this person, like, because they do. And I talk about that a lot, but soulmates, the spectrum of soulmates, everyone has a soul tribe. And this soul tribe is lots and lots of people who you kind of travel through lives with, multiple lifetimes. And everybody signs up, sort of, to, okay, I'm going to meet with you at this part of our lives and we're going to learn these lessons from each other. And then this other person, well, I'm going to meet up with you then and we're going to learn these lessons from each other. And there, within that soul tribe is definitely a twin flame, which is the other half of you. And then within that soul tribe is also a spectrum of soul mates. And the mates are the ones who hang out with you for an extended period of time. Like enough to where you always remember them. Like you can be really old and you remember someone that you hung out with your whole childhood because they were your child soulmate. Or, you know, your college buddy who you went to school with for 4 years and lived together. That's a soulmate. So on and so forth. So this, whatever this is happening right now, this potential partnership is it should last long enough for you guys to learn the lesson that is intended, or multiple lessons, wherever you are in this. Some clarifiers, please, for with the Chariot. Because there's a Tower moment. With the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is the thought of, or the news of, and the Ace of Pentacles is like the birth of. And the birth of was in reverse. And I kind of feel like with this news, King of Cups is in reverse. Is this an additional person? What? Because it also brings a Tower moment. So then you got 2 moving on cards. Both of these people are in mobile vehicles that will take them elsewhere. But why is the King of Cups in reverse? Fire, please. Ah, Five of Swords on top of 5 of Swords is why the King of Cups is in reverse. So because that seems completely opposite of everything that I just said. Like, this chair is strong, don't, you know, you're not going to fall, and then here's the Tower. And then I'm like, well, your intuition is telling you, and I'm talking about dropping these blocks and walls and things, and then you get the King of Cups in reverse. And I think with this battling here, you know, I feel like there's like an additional reason why Gemini has these walls up. And it could be that even though there's a love for this energy, this fiery energy, that it's might not be as healthy for you as you want it to be, or it should be. And that's why you're thinking it's, I don't want to say like self-sabotage. Like, I don't think you're going to sabotage it. I just feel like there's going to be like this realization. There's just this whole, all these clarifiers for the future, for the, you know, end of January are indicating like a player, multiple options, injustice, a lot of battling and betrayal, evil news, no starting of this new beginning, and then 2 moving on cards. But that doesn't connect at all, in my opinion, with how you're feeling right now with this High Priestess, and there's this delay. I heard additional person. So I'm getting like, okay, I'm getting images, yes, but more importantly, let me get this other deck of cards here. It's like, for some Geminis, you are already partnered with somebody, but it makes you feel like, you know, you're alone because you got the Hermit. And then then this other thing happened here, causing you to go look out, and you got the 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. Everything is wonderful, except that in the right now, you're needing to have all this strength because you know that there's this like potential other soulmate type energy lurking in the background, and there's a delay to that because all of this mess has to happen first. And maybe that's why there's those blocks now, because this is what it's like normally. and then you have this fiery, passionate, wonderful person who you feel a soul connection to, and it's just delayed, partially because you have blocks, but partially because you have physical blocks. Like you might not be able to get to them for whatever reason. But once all of this happens, I'm going to get the Crystal Tarot, and I want to ask for a outcome, because that was like a huge left turn. Can I get an outcome, please? The Lovers. So you gotta go through this. This is just like a mess of cards of drama. Like this whole thing is just blah, of injustice and moving on and players and swords and towers and drama and despair, which is not funny, but oh my God, it's a handful of drama coming at you to the end of January. But the outcome is this. So it's like you have to finish climbing the mountain and get through the really hard part. And then all of this 10 of Cups and 9 of Cups and all these, the Sun and all these strength cards and things will then come to fruition after that. Which makes sense, you know, you have to deal with things, put things in order. Heard the name Aubrey. Or Austri. Another outcome, please. Knight of Swords. S-words. One more. Thank you. And your King of Fire again. So, yeah. So this is your King of Fire twice, right? This was the one that we had manifested, that we talked about before. So as the outcome, you're the King of Fire for sure, with the Lover's card, and this is how it comes to you. This offer. I mean, this guy just like barges in. But I feel like it's almost like this horse. I just got an image of, you know, like horse races when they're behind the thing and they're all getting ready. And like as soon as the barrier comes down, they're like, pew, and then they go off on their racing adventure. That's kind of how this feels. But you have to get through all of this. You have to break down the tower. You have to break down the walls. Everything that's blocking you, this is all just blocking. It feels like madness. I mean, I know I've already said that, but once you get through that, right? So let's get some advice, please, from the fairies. Fairies Oracle, advice, please, for Gemini, January 2018. Bravery, that's strength 3 times. That's the strength card 3 times. I asked for advice from the fairies. And they said, be brave. That is clear, solid advice. More advice, please, for Gemini 2018, January. And to break patterns. I'm hearing things about having the caution and the red flags. It's kind of almost like Gemini's been doing this type of thing. I just feel like there's an opportunity here to like go and do something awesome. But you have to heal and change your habits and just be brave. Like maybe the pattern that you need to break is not having enough strength to go through all of this crazy. And so we shall get some strength. Yeah. This is talking about not getting into a bunch of mischief and to be like level-headed. So for those Geminis that are currently coupled accept that they know their soulmate now and they kind of would rather be with them. Make sure that you deal with this in the most ethical manner possible, because this big awesome pile of energy coming at you, since you know that it's coming towards you, you have the opportunity to get a hold on it right away. Oh my God, this is the honesty, tact, and compassion. What was I just saying? Get through this in the most ethical way possible with tact. And then you'll have your hopes and wishes because of that. I really like how that came full circle there. So I'm just going to pull one more Divine Oracle, Divine Conversations card for Gemini, please. January 2018. It's too many. Got the initial X. Also heard something about incarceration. And the initial M. And then I heard Martha. Marta. All people are special, and all moments are golden. There is no person and there is no time more special than another. That is like a really fancy way of saying seize the day, carpe diem, be in the now. And so I wonder why they're saying that as a overall clarifier for this, because because you were saying too good to be true. It's not too good to be true at all. It's no one is more special than anyone else, and everyone deserves the same amount of happiness and joy. It's just, I feel like Gemini's been through the ringer so much to where now they're like, yeah, this isn't how things work out for me typically, so we're just going to go with nope. I'm saying go with yep, because this is Spirit saying you absolutely deserve this. And I very much hope for you that the block that we're having isn't a feeling of like self-worth or low self-worth, because Geminis are lovers. Obviously, they're the lover's card. And then with all of this stuff around you, I mean, it feels so great, except for this. But this is just a week or two of energy that you have to deal with. And then the outcome right after that was the lovers. And then you're King of Fire. So have all of this bravery that they're talking about. Have all of this strength. Because once you get through it, you get this. Anyway, that is all I have for you today, Gemini. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do like, subscribe, and share. If you're going to subscribe, there's a little bell. You can click it, and it'll give you a notification when I come on. I am on Facebook, DharmaJane8. Gmail is dharmajane8@gmail.com, and Instagram is dharmajane.8. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon, Gemini.